Thank
So
you.
I will invite Aloysius Sigit Haryono from Swiss German University.
Thank you, Valerie. Should I share the screen right now?
Ya, Pak.
Yeah. Can I start, Bu?
Oke. Ya, oke, kelihatan sudah.
Yeah. Okay.
Please, Pak, suaranya yours.
1, 2, 3, radio check.
Okay, clear. Thank you, Pak.
Okay, thank you for the time and opportunity given. My name is Aloysius Sigit Haryono, Engineering Management from Swiss German University. And the title of the paper is Application of Human Factor Analysis to Prioritize the KNKT Recommendation Case Study of Wamena Airport Air Accidents. The background of the research is since 1997, Indonesian government set the Indonesian National Transport Safety Committee. And during that year, the two major air accident investigated and reported officially, which was the Airbus 300B4 that happened in Medan, also Boeing 737-300 that plunged into the sea in Palembang. And during 1997 until 2019, there were 191 incidents and accidents that happened in Indonesia, published by the NTSC. And 2007 until 2019, every year, Papua contribute accident and incident, can be seen in figures 111 in the blue bars. And categorized into area, and the highest event happens in Java area, which is 56 event of incident and accidents during that year. And then the second one is from Papua, which is 53 events of the accident and incidents. And the air accident and incident can happen in the airport or outside of the airport, like for example, in cruise, flying and then impact into the terrain or mountain. And according to the accident and incident that happened in the airport in Papua, Wamena Airport contribute 10 events of accident and incident compared with other airports that located in Papua also, only 1 or 2 during 2002 until 2017. And the problem and objective of this study, the problem statement, the KNKT or National Transport Safety Committee in Indonesia has investigated the serious incident in 1999 in Wamena Airport in Papua and make the recommendation for the airlines or operator, the authority, and also the air traffic controller. But still, another accident happened in this airport. In 2002, 2009, 2013, 2015, and 2016. And all 5 accidents that happened in Wamena Airport, there were cargo flights, all of them, and happened in approach and landing phase of a flight. And these 5 accidents that happened in Wamena contribute 21% of the total accidents that happen in Papua. And the objective of my study is to prioritize the decision-making of human factor intervention from the NTSC or KNKT recommendation for pilot to block the last layer, which is the unsafe act layer, by doing go-around. And scope of limitation, as can be seen, the Swiss concept by reason stated that accident happen if all the layer there are absent of defense and penetrated by error into mishaps. The layer started from operational layers, then unsafe supervision, and then the next one is the precondition unsafe act layer, and also the last one is the unsafe act layers. In this study, we'll study about the last layer of unsafe act, identifying the errors and also the violation of this layer, and then how to block by doing the go-around by pilot to block and to prevent from the accident. This Swiss concept expanded by Seppel and Wigman into the human factor analysis and classification system, and also human factor intervention metric framework into this HFAX and also HFIX. I study only for the unsafe act layer. Then to calculate the priority of the intervention recommendation, I'm using the analytical hierarchy process that founded by Saati. The literature review, the related research is I have 5 here that very close with my study. The first and second one from Wild et al. 2017 and also the FTML. This studies about the accidents and then using the framework of each facts to understand which layers of the accident that attack or make a holes of the layers. And number 3 is the Chen et al. Studying about the error in flight operation using the HFX frameworks and also the HFX to understand about the intervention that can block the error in flight operation. And number 4, Chen et al. In 2017 also studied about the one near miss. Near miss is 2 aeroplanes that almost collide each other using the framework of HFX and also the HFX. And the intervention priority using the analytical hierarchy process. And then Chen et al. Continue the study using the 0-1 goal programming to understand the priority of the intervention due to limited resources such as a budget and also the manpower in this company. And number 5 is Killick et al. Studying about the gross navigation error for the transatlantic route, transatlantic flight from 3 decision makers, three captains of Boeing 777 that has experience to fly this route, and then identifying the error using the HFX framework. And how to block the error, he's using the fuzzy analytical hierarchy process. And my proposed model will be studying about 5 air accidents in Wamena Airport. And I'm using also the framework of HFX and also the HFX, but for unsafe act layer only. To prioritize the intervention of recommendation from the KNKT, I'm using the analytical hierarchy process. And research methodology, excuse me, I'm collecting the data from the NTSC about these 5 accidents that happened in Wamena. And then I'm frameworking the data into the HFX and also the HFX. And to understand the priority of the intervention recommendation from NTSC, I'm using the analytical hierarchy process. So I give the questionnaires to the decision maker or the experts, contents of 3 captains that having experience 10 years or more in Papua and also in Wamena with 10,000 hours or more rated flying Boeing 737, the biggest aeroplane that operates in this airport. And also 1 co-pilot having 1,500 hours experience in Boeing 737 and also experience 3 years or more in this Wamena and Papua. Then that questionnaire I collected, then I calculated using the analytical hierarchy process to understand about the consistency ratio. When it is more than 0.2, I have to redo it again. But when it is less than 0.2, it's acceptable according to SATI, and then I continue my calculation using the group analytical hierarchy process, and you continue the result and discussion that will be given after the result of calculation. And the conclusion suggestion are expected can give the priority on decision made to block accident happen on the unsafe layer by doing go-around by pilot. And to understand the result and discussion why pilot having hesitation to do the go-around from unstabilized approach, the result of this study, very short movie here. Yep, from the result, so we can understand why pilot hesitated to do go around. And from the result of the analytical hierarchy process that given to the expert, I calculated, and the ranking is, firstly, the recommendation is about the technology and engineering, which is 7.74%. The recommendation are installment of instrument approach, chart, and go-around procedure for KNKT aeroplane. KNKT is like Boeing 737, the video that we see. And flight data analysis installment, fuzzy light repair, and also the ATC radio relay installment, and airport fire department. Number 2 until number 4, I believe is already implemented in this airport. But the first one, the installment of the IFR approach chart and go-around procedure hasn't been implemented yet in this airport. The go-around procedure is like the escape plan. If pilot approach and then cannot make the landing, so they have to fly away and escape from the runway and then fly up to avoid the terrain also. But without that procedure, the flight will be in jeopardy, will be in risk to impact with the terrain surrounding this airport. So most of the pilots, they're having decision to continue landing even though they are not in stabilized approach, which is created risk as well, as we can see that continuously happen in this airport of accidents. And the second rank will be human and crew, 3.85%. Its recommendation is talking about the supervision and encouragement to pilots from the airlines to do the go-around when they're facing the unstabilized approach. And also some different training that should be given to the pilot by the airlines. And the third rank is task and mission, which is 2.94%. It's talking about the risk assessment. Risk assessment is like a mitigation of the hazard that about to fly. So this is supposed to be done before the flying started. If the assessment of the risk is high and not meet the requirement of the VFR approach of the airport, they have to delay or even cancel the flight. And the next one is the operational or physical environment, which is 2.72%. Wamena Airport is located in Baliem Valley in Papua, surrounded by high mountain. And the traffic inbound and outbound in this airport is very dense. It's almost 150 traffic aeroplane that land and take off from this airport daily. So the last one is the organization, 2.66%. It's talking about recommendation, is talking about the safety notice to pilots. It's like the notice about the safety of the airport, the danger of the airport, so pilot will have the awareness how to operate in this airport. And the next one is also the Indonesian authority by NTSC recommended to supervise the safety recommendation on safety program and safety risk assessment implementation of the airline. And the conclusion, the HVAC framework for unsafe act layer, are taken from the KNKT findings. And the HVAC, the intervention, are taken from the KNKT recommendation. And if no proper order of KNKT recommendation implemented, holes in the unsafe act layer will still exist. And this hole someday will lead into accident or incident. So temporary mitigation, when the first priority not been implemented, are limiting the operation of narrow body jet aircraft to its performance. And also closure of airport when it's needed, when the requirement not met the VFR approach. And the last one, as the concept of the switches by reason, incident and accident are caused not by single error, single factor, but penetrating all the layer of the. So future study can be extended not only from the unsafe act layer, the last one, to block the accident, but also from the previous layers. And by blocking the error early as possible, it will prevent the accident or incident happens. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you, Bu. I've done with the presentation. I will come for any question or suggestion for me. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Sigit, for interesting presentation. So I will open the question. All the audience can put the question in the chat Zoom. Okay, Pak Sigit, this is very interesting for me. Oh, okay. We have a question from Professor Murata. Thank you for your presentation. Do you have a plan to select evaluation standard from many perspectives for AHP? Pak Sigit?
Yeah, thank you, Prof, for the question. Very nice, interesting questions. Yeah, firstly, in this airport, I will suggest the authority that they have to set up the IFR procedure and go-around procedure. So pilot will not hesitate to do the go-around to block the last error of HVAC framework. That's the only option first. But if they cannot do that, then the priority, the next priority will be done, and authority has to reduce the traffic that flying to that airport also, and also other things like the risk assessment has to be done, implementation. Actually, in Indonesia, we have what we call it SSP, Safety State Program. I can talk to the Safety State Program how to improve the safety, and just using the simple one, analytical hierarchy process, actually we can solve the problem in this airport especially. And there are actually many other interesting topic to study about aviation in Papua, because so many accidents also happen there. But I'll do it later on, and slowly just give the suggestion how to improve the safety. Only with AHP, at least we can block the error that happen. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you, Pak Sigit. Other question from Silverius Pascalis about airlines incident. Is Boeing 737 MAX series incident we saw a year ago will tighten the regulation corresponding to this situation? Pak Sigit?
For sure, yes. So it's talking about Boeing 737 MAX. The error is coming from the manufacturer initially, but as the SysGIS concept, accident will not be happen only with one single factor. At least 4 layers has been penetrated. So for sure, the FAA already give the type certificate for this Boeing 737 MAX. By having that misdesign, what I can say like that, FAA already published, but then all around the world, they're having problems. So right now, most of the authority, they will do their own type certificate of this Boeing 737 MAX. EASA in Europe even stated that, yes, I have to do it by myself. Indonesia also stated like that. So yes, by having incident happen, aviation learning by blood. So we improve everything, procedure regulation by blood. If somebody dead with incident, then yes, we improve the safety. Thank you for the question.
Okay, next question from Niklas Simorangkir. Regarding the KNKT recommendation on the flight safety, other countries, wait a moment. Okay, I lost the question.
Yeah, it's scrolling down.
Yeah, sorry, I'm sorry. Where is the question? Okay. Other countries may not agree to such recommendation. Would it be better to create and follow the standard that are international accepted by other countries?
In aviation, we have safety management system already, actually. And ICAO mandated that most of the country has to implement this SMS system. So not only the authority, but also the operator, the airline, they have to do it. This is standard by ICAO. And ICAO initially published about the SMS system that has to be followed by state and also airline. So any member of the country that following the ICAO standard, they have to follow this. They have to follow the SMS. So it's facts and it's fixed already actually part of the SMS system. When miss of the SMS is trying to block the error. And FAA, even America, United States of America, they also about to implement the SMS system. So initially it's done by the ICAO. So there are many authorities, the Indonesian using the ICAO standard, Europe using the EASA, and the FAA is done by the American. So there is one standard actually in aviation. Thank you, by the way, for the question.
Okay, actually this is very interesting because we still have several questions, but we have only several minutes also. But I will, this is for the last question from Ibu Susanti. Thank you, Mr. Sigit. If you look at on the Instagram, Papua pilot pictures and movies show that airport in Papua is still traditional. Do you have any recommendation to make government more serious in developing it?
Yeah, authority, they have, like I said before, we have the SSP, the Safety State Program, that run by one committee like that. So if no matter, they are traditional, they are advanced airport, if they're following the requirements and they make the risk assessment followed using the SMS system in the aviation, to guarantee that the error will be blocked as early as possible. Different angles to see. So the problem is discipline. If we are not disciplined in implementing the procedure, then it's about the people. And culture is a culture. So we have to have a good culture about safety and the awareness of safety. That's it. That's my understanding about safety. I've been in this position as a pilot for 28 years and flying all over. I returned to Indonesia, contribute about the safety in Indonesia. That's why I'm making the research and also make the recommendation to the authority. That's my understanding. By the way, thank you again for the question.
Okay, my apologies because we have 2 more questions that cannot be asked to Pak Sigit because we have a time limitation. Thank you, Pak Win and Trinasya Renata for the question. I'm sorry, we cannot ask your question to Pak Win. So, Pak Win, this is the interesting case, and my suggestion only if you do more deeply with the HF-ACS, it will be more interesting if you find something from the organization itself, because that is the purpose of finding human error using framework HF-ACS.
I will do good. Thank you for the suggestion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pak Sigit, for the presentation.